Right now in mid-July, your rose is making decisions about next spring's blooms, and the well-meaning intervention you're about to do is going to cost you those blooms. Not this week. You won't see it this week. You'll see it in May, when the plant that looked fine all summer comes back thin, and you'll blame the winter. It wasn't the winter, it was July. 5 mistakes. Every one of them comes from caring about the plant. Every one of them is something a good gardener does on purpose. And all 5 cost you the same thing. What your rose is actually doing right now. Before the mistakes, the biology. Because all 5 of these are the same error wearing different clothes, and once you see it, you'll never make any of them again. Midsummer. Mid-July here in zone 5 to 6. Mid-January if you're in the southern hemisphere, your rosy is not in a growing phase. It's in a storing phase. Through spring, the plant spent. It pushed canes, pushed leaves, threw everything into that first flush, and burned reserves to do it. Now is the payback. Every leaf is running photosynthesis, converting sunlight into carbohydrates, and shipping them down into the canes and roots to be parked there. That's the bank account. It's what the plant lives on through fall, survives on through winter, and spends next spring. And here's what makes July the pivot. The plant lignifies the canes it intends to keep and decides how much structure it can afford to support. And it does that math on what's in the bank in late summer. A rose that ends August with a full tank comes back thick. One that ends empty comes back thin and blooms late. So here's the frame for the whole video. Right now, leaves are assets. Every leaf is a solar panel filling the tank, and every single one of these 5 mistakes removes leaves or forces the plant to spend. That's it. That's the entire pattern. Mistake 1, hard pruning to tidy up. Mistake number 1, hard pruning in July to tidy the plant up. I understand this one. By mid-July, a rose looks rangy. Long canes, uneven shape, leaning where you didn't want it. You've got pruners and a free afternoon, and cleaning it up feels like care. It isn't. Right now, it's an amputation. Go back to the frame. Leaves are assets. When you take a foot off a cane in July, you're not removing mess. You're removing 30 or 40 solar panels that were actively filling the tank. And you're doing it in the exact window the plant depends on to refill. It gets worse because the plant responds. Cut a rose hard and it pushes new growth. That's what roses do. So now it spends reserves it can't spare to build soft new canes in 90-degree heat. Canes that can't hydrate properly and won't lignify before frost. You've made the plant pay twice. And a third cost nobody mentions. Those interior canes you just exposed have spent all season shaded by the canopy you removed. Now they're in full midday sun with no protection. And rose canes sun scald. Diagnostic test, the leaf count. Before you make any cut in July, look at what's above the cut line and count the leaves you're about to remove. Not the blooms, the leaves. If it's more than a handful, put the pruners down and walk away. Structural pruning is a late winter job. Late winter, that's February or March in zone 5 to 6, August or September in the southern hemisphere. It is not a July job. The plant is rangy. Let it be rangy. Mistake 2, nitrogen-heavy feeding and heat. Mistake number 2, reaching for the fertilizer because the plant looks like it's struggling. This is the most human mistake on the list. The rose looks tired. Food helps things that look tired, so you feed it. Here's what actually happens. Nitrogen, the first number on the bag, tells a plant one thing: grow, push leaves, push canes, push soft green tissue right now. And in July heat, the plant physically cannot support what you just ordered it to build. You get flushy, tender growth with thin cell walls on a plant whose roots are already struggling to move water. It wilts first, it scorches first, aphids and Japanese beetles find it first, and you spent reserves to make it. There's a second mechanism, and it surprises people. Fertilizer is salt. Put salt into dry soil, and July soil dries fast, and the concentration outside the root goes higher than inside. Water moves from low to high, so water moves out of the root. You fed the plant, and the plant got thirstier. That's not a metaphor. That's the physics of it. Diagnostic test, the label check. Pick up whatever you were about to use and look at the first of the 3 numbers. That's nitrogen. If it's the biggest number, it does not go on a rose in July. Compost is fine. Compost is slow. It feeds the soil rather than the plant, and it doesn't force anything. But the bag with the big first number stays closed until the heat breaks. Mistake 3, cutting back the second flush. Mistake number 3, cutting back the second flush to save the plant energy. I see this advice given sincerely, and it's backwards in a way worth sitting with. The logic sounds airtight. Blooming costs energy. The plant is stressed, so remove the blooms and let it rest. Right? Wrong, and here's why. By the time you're looking at that flush, the plant has already spent the money. The bud is formed, the energy that built it is gone, invested, sunk. Cutting it off doesn't refund anything. You just threw away the thing you paid for, and you took the leaves with it. Because you don't remove a flush without removing the growth carrying it, which means you've done mistake 1 while telling yourself you were being kind. The plant knows how to do this. A rose under real stress will abort its own buds. That's bloom blast. And if you've seen it, that's the plant making the call itself. You don't need to make it for the plant. It has better information than you do. Diagnostic test? The ownership question. Ask yourself, is this bud already formed? If the answer is yes, the money's spent. Let it bloom. You paid for it. The only version of this that's ever correct is a first-year rose in its first summer, where you might pinch early buds to push root establishment. An established rose 3 years in? Let it bloom. If organic rose care in a cold zone is what you're here for, subscribe. This channel is a system, and every video builds on the last. Mistake 4. Over-deadheading mistake. And yes, that's a real thing, even though every rose guide on the internet tells you to deadhead and stops there. Deadheading is good. I'm not walking that back. Removing a spent bloom stops the plant from putting energy into a hip, and it encourages rebloom. That's real. The problem isn't whether, it's how deep. Here's the advice you've read 100 times. Cut back to the first 5-leaflet leaf. And it's not wrong. In June. In July, follow it across a whole plant and count what you removed. Every one of those cuts takes the bloom plus 4 or 5 inches of cane plus every leaf on it. Do that 30 times and you've stripped a real share of the plant's solar panels in an afternoon. You did mistake 1 again. 30 small times instead of once. So in midsummer heat, deadhead shallow. Snip just below the spent bloom. Take the head, leave the leaves. It's less tidy. Nobody's grading you. The plant doesn't care what the cut looks like. It cares how many leaves it still has. Diagnostic test, the leaf ratio. After each cut, look at what's in your hand. If there are more leaves than petals, you cut too deep. Move up the cane and try again. And if the heat is genuinely brutal, skip deadheading entirely for a week or 2. A few hips forming is not an emergency. The rose has done this for a very long time without you. Mistake 5, letting it dry out to harden it. Deliberately letting the plant dry out to toughen it up for winter. Myth, withholding water in summer hardens a rose off and makes it more cold tolerant. It doesn't. I understand where it comes from. Hardening off is a real thing. Roses do prepare for winter, and tough love builds toughness is an idea people like. But the trigger is wrong. Hardening off is driven by shortening days and falling temperatures. Photo period. The plant reads the light and the cold and responds. It does not read your watering can. What drought in July actually does is stop photosynthesis. A rose that's short on water closes its stomata to save it, and closed stomata means no gas exchange, which means no carbohydrate production. So the tank stops filling. In the one window it needs to fill. You haven't toughened anything. You've sent the plant into winter with less in the bank than it would have had otherwise, which is exactly the plant that dies back hard in February. Real hardening comes from a well-fed, well-watered, unstressed plant that ends the season with full reserves and then gets the seasonal cues on schedule. Reserves are cold hardiness. That's the whole mechanism. Diagnostic test, the 4-inch check. Push your finger 4 inches down at the drip line. Dry at 4 inches means water deeply. Cool and moist means walk away. The top 2 inches lie to you constantly. Water deep, water on the soil's schedule, and let the calendar handle the hardening. It's better at it than you are. Section 7, what to do instead. The 5-minute weekly check. So if you're not pruning, not feeding, not cutting back, and not deadheading hard, what are you doing in July? 5 minutes a week. That's the whole job. And it's the highest leverage 5 minutes in your gardening year because everything you protect now pays out next spring. Here's the walk. 1. Soil 4 inches down at the drip line. Dry means a deep soak. Moist means leave it alone. 10 seconds. 2. Mulch depth. You want 3 inches. Push a finger through it. If it's thinned under 2, top it up and keep it 2 to 4 inches off the crown. Ring, not volcano. 3. The cane firmness check. This is the one that tells you whether everything else is working. Take a cane from this season's growth and bend it gently between your fingers. A healthy midsummer cane is firm. It has resistance. It bends and springs back, and it's starting to feel woody rather than green. That's lignification. That's the cane hardening into structure the plant intends to keep. A cane that's soft and rubbery, that bends without springing back, is one the plant is building on credit. 9 times out of 10, that's nitrogen. Rubbery canes in July? Look at what you've been feeding. 4. Leaves, not the blooms. Green, flat, holding shape means the tank is filling. Cupped, curling, crisping at the edges means heat stress. That's a different video, linked below. 5. Deadhead shallow. Take the heads, leave the leaves. 30 seconds. That's it, that's July. Water, mulch, check, look, snip. Everything else, the shaping, the feeding, the structural work, has a season, and this isn't it. The hardest thing about midsummer rose care is that the correct action is almost always no action. And that feels like neglect when it's actually restraint. Your rose doesn't need you to do more right now. It needs you to let it work. Leaves are assets. Every one of those 5 mistakes takes leaves away or forces the plant to spend. And you find out in May. If you're watching this on your phone, there's a hype button right below this video. It looks like a shooting star. It's only there for the first week after a video goes up. And it's one of the most powerful ways you can help a small channel like this one get found. Next up, the 4 roses with the best fragrance in the whole catalog. One of them is worth planting for the scent alone, even if it never bloomed well, and it does. Until next time, happy gardening.